Right, if you want to drill a hole in your wall at home, whether or not you want to put up a shelf or a picture or fix something, and you're not sure how to use a drill, I've got a whole video on that. Check it out. It's actually quite easy. But in some ways, how to use a drill is the easy bit, right? Knowing what your wall is made up of is the more difficult bit. And we use the word wall kind of slightly misleadingly because we're using it to describe a huge range of possibilities. Actually thinking of them as wall systems is kind of helpful. And you really need to know what kind of wall system you're drilling into before you start, because that's going to influence what kind of drill bit you use, what kind of wall plug you're going to use, even what kind of drill setting, and in some cases, even drill you're going to use. So don't start until you know what your wall system is. Right, quick recap on how to put your drill bit into your drill. We'll talk about which drill bit to use in just a moment. What I've got here is a pretty bog standard cordless drill. It has got a hammer setting. Not all of them have hammer settings. This one does. And what we need to do is open up the front of this, the chuck here, which we do by turning this bit here, and we will completely open this here. And then we're going to put our drill bit in. So I've just got a big masonry drill bit here, just for the sake of showing you, because it's nice and big. So that's fully open now. I've got a big hole in there. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to place this in, and then I can tighten it up, and that will hold it in place. So if I just leave it like that, you can see it falls. Let's now turn that back the other way. And you hear the click, and it's in. And so that is nice and secure now and ready for our task. So I'm going to show you some different wall systems and how you pick the right drill bit and the right fixing and the right wall plug for each of those in just a minute. Because in my kitchen, I happen to have about 5 different types. Some of them are solid, some of them are hollow, some of them are a combination of different types of materials, some of them are timber, and so therefore that is going to dictate what you need to actually use to get into that surface and what's going to stay inside it and fix your bit up there. The other thing to consider is that what you're hanging is going to make a difference as well. So if you're hanging something really heavy, that's going to potentially need a completely different fixing and a different approach to if you're hanging something quite lightweight. So let's get into it. So I'm going to start off with a really simple example. We recently put up this shade cloth over our bifold doors to try and keep that intense sun heat out a bit. And to do this, I needed to put a hook up into some masonry. Now, there's a sequence of events here in order to know exactly what you need to do. First of all, I knew what wall type it was, and that's because this is part of our extension build, and I was there when this was being built, and I know that it's brick because it's just around the lintel, and that's what is there. So that helped me narrow down that I needed a masonry bit. I'll show you how I knew which one in just a moment. The next thing I needed to know was what fixing we were going to use. Now, because it's just a lightweight shade cloth, there's really no weight to it. I just needed to very simply hook it on. So I selected this, just a cheap, simple, lightweight hook. And once I knew that that was what I wanted to get into the wall, then I knew what hole I needed to make and what wall plug I needed. So the purpose of the wall plug is that rather than just putting this into the wall and risking it not getting a proper grip and slipping out, you need something that goes in that is going to hold it in place. So once you've made your hole into your wall plug sits in there, and that is going to grip onto your fixing and hold it in place. So the most important thing is that this actually does get a grip on your fixing. So they kind of come in mixed packs of these, fairly standard sizes, and this red one is one of the standard ones. So it's a good chance that this is going to fit. So if we try this, you can see if we push that into there, if we start to screw it in basically, that's actually pushing that out. That's going to push it into the wall, and you're going to get that nice hold and that nice fixing. Now I'll show you an example of one that doesn't work, and you can see how in this one, we're not going to get that fixing at all. So that would be totally pointless. If we put that in there, it would just basically fall out or slip or not be very secure. So now we know what fixing and what wall plug we need, we can work out what masonry bit we need. And the way we work this out is on these wall plugs, they've actually got a number, and this is a number 6. So we go into our masonry set and we select the number 6. Nice and straightforward. It's really important that we use the right masonry bit, because if you use one that's the wrong size, if it's too small, you're not going to get this into the hole. And if it's too big, it's not going to sit snugly in there and give you that grip. You can also refer to the wall plug packaging, which has guide holes to tell you what size drill bit and fixings will work with these plugs. The right drill bit should fit snugly in the drill guide hole. There are also holes to tell you the minimum and maximum size fixings you can use. So it's really important that you don't just go in there with any old masonry bit that you can get your hands on. A lot of the time you end up losing these and buying new sets, trust me, but it is important to get the right one. There's one last piece of the puzzle before we get this all in place that we also need to get right. So I'm just popping the right size drill bit in the drill, and we're going to get this nice and tight. Now, one thing I wanted to also say is that make sure you get it parallel, because as you get to the smaller drill bits as well, it could be quite easy to get them in skew width, then your hole's going to be skew width. So just make sure that that's straight before you start to tighten it up. The important thing is that when we drill our hole, we don't want to go beyond the size of the wall plug and the fixing. So an easy way to stop ourselves from doing this, you've probably guessed it, is to mark your wall plug along the drill bit, and then you can just put a piece of tape along there at the part where you want to stop drilling. So once you reach that tape, then that's when you stop drilling. So that was an example of a very straightforward masonry drilling job. Now, inside our kitchen, we've actually got about 5 or 6 other different types of surfaces, of wall systems that we've drilled into at various points. And we've also attached things of hugely varying weights and sizes. So it does start to get more complicated. One thing that's really important to highlight early on if you're drilling into anything, because this is what can go the most wrong of all, is that you need to know whether or not you've got any utilities behind your wall. So this is electrics, this is water, because you don't want to go drilling into electrics or into a pipe, because this isn't going to end well. As a general rule of thumb, avoid drilling above, below or parallel to any electric sockets, because chances are there might be some wires along there. But you can actually get cable detectors and pipe detectors, and they can give you an idea of whether or not you've got anything behind those walls. But this is a really, really important thing to think about before we go any further. But next up, let's have a look at some of the other surfaces that we've had to drill into in here and what the best approach has been. So back over to the window for another example of a surface that we've had to drill into. And above this window here, these bifold doors, we've got a lintel. And a lintel is what basically spans the load above the window. Now, the old lintels in this house were mainly made of concrete, but this newer one, we've gone for a metal lintel, which means we need to be getting through metal. So this calls for a different drill bit. And this is a classic metal drill bit. This is generally they're gold. So once again, we go back to our set and find the right drill bit to get into here. It is a bit harder to get into metal, by the way, just so you're aware. And in some cases, it can be almost impossible to get into some surfaces. Bear that in mind as well. So when we went to put this rail up, we weren't even sure we were going to be able to get a really good fixing into it. And we did consider that we might have to put the curtains on the outside of the window where there's a bit of a masonry to get a grip into, rather than going directly into that lintel, but we did achieve it, thankfully. So another example here are these little lights. These are quite cool rechargeable lights. I don't know if you've seen them. So we retrofitted them. They're not wired in, which meant we had to put a couple of screws in the wall. Again, these are quite lightweight. Now this wall here is made of plasterboard, adhesive, and then Thermalite Block. So what we want to do, just to be really sure that we're getting a good fixing, is get through all of those surfaces. So a screw about this size I know is going to get through plasterboard, thin layer of adhesive, and then get a nice grip into that Thermalite Block as well, which means, again, I need to use a different drill bit and a masonry drill bit, because ultimately that's what we're getting into. That's the hardest surface we need to get into at the end. A useful thing to think about when you're drilling any hole is you might want to do a pilot hole first. Now, a pilot hole means going down a size on your masonry bit so that you don't mess it up and you've got that initial slightly smaller hole that you can then use when you're ready to commit to doing the actual hole that's the right size. That can save you a lot of time and effort in terms of making mistakes. Now we've moved on to a stud wall, which is a completely different consideration all over again. Now, a stud wall is essentially plasterboard, and that is held up by bits of timber. So throughout that, you've got bits of timber across and along as you go. Ideally, you want to, for a secure fitting, fix into the timber itself. Now, if you knock on a wall, you can generally work out where the timber is by the sound. So up here, sounds different to down here. It's a more hollow sound at the bottom. So that's where we've just got the plasterboard. Where it isn't a hollow sound, that's where you've more likely got the timber. If you're fixing just into the plasterboard, you'll need a special fixing. These then brace behind the plasterboard and spread the load as you're drilling them into the wall. Personally, I'm really dubious about using any of these. I think you've got to be really careful about what you're trusting and how heavy a load you're putting if you're fixing onto plasterboard. So it's not as strong as fixing directly onto stud work. So if you've got the option, try and find the bit where it doesn't sound hollow, or if you know where you've got that stud work, try and use that for your fixing. And in this case, you won't need a wall plug. You'll just need a bit for screwing into wood, of course. And again, you'll need to use a really small bit here, because what you don't want to do is create a hole and then your screw not to actually grip into it. You don't want your hole to be bigger than your screw is. So find your screw size that you need and then go down to the smallest size possible to create that hole. Now, there's a really good case for using a pilot hole and going really slowly here, because actually once you start drilling, that will confirm whether or not you are going through plasterboard or into the timber. If you're going through plasterboard, in no time you'll just pop out the other side of it and you'll realise that. Whereas you'll start to feel the resistance of the timber for longer if you're going into those actual studs. Now, in our case, this is the only stud wall that we've got that is completely just a stud wall in this kitchen. We actually knew that there was pipework behind it, so we've gone for a good old-fashioned stick-on hook. And we must have put that up there about 5 years ago, and it is still there today. So it's done the job perfectly. This fire blanket's pretty lightweight, and thankfully we haven't had to use it so far. Now we've got another rather unusual example here where the fixing that we wanted to achieve actually dictated how we built the wall. So when we built our extension, what we've got here, again, is because it's a new wall in the kitchen, is a stud wall, but it's also been braced with plywood and plasterboard because we needed to get a really secure surface, because we then were fixing and adding our kitchen cabinets onto it. Of course, they're quite heavy. They can carry quite heavy loads. You've got things like plates in there. So we wanted to make sure that we had a wall that we could easily get a really, really good, strong fixing to. So the key point here being that we needed to ensure that wherever we needed to fix this cupboard on the wall at any point, we had that really firm wood to fix into, that timber to fix into, whereas we didn't want to end up in a situation where we were having to fix part of the cupboard onto just plasterboard because it was never going to hold. So another proposition that we've got over here is this Welsh dresser that we wanted to add to the wall. And once again, we are working with the plasterboard, the adhesive and the Thermalite block. But the difference here between this and what we were doing with the light over there is that this is obviously a lot bigger in itself, and it's also stacked full of glasses, which is potentially quite dangerous if it falls down. So we wanted to be doubly sure that we had a really secure fixing when we put this up. So then we went into the territory a little bit here of specialist fixings. And what we really needed to think essentially was that we were going to get something that was going to get a nice firm grip way beyond that plasterboard and adhesive into the Thermalite block, particularly because Thermalite blocks aren't actually as kind of hard and robust as traditional bricks. So we opted for something like this kind of size. Now, when you get into this territory, the good news is that they actually come as set. So we got the screw and the wall plug came with it. So we knew what we were working with. We didn't have to do as much of the detective work ourselves. The other challenge, though, was that we needed to get the right drill bit. Now, once again, once you get into specialist territory, actually in that set, even a set as big as that, we didn't have quite the right drill bit. So if you go into your hardware store, your DIY store, they do sell drill bits separately. So take your wall plug in and find a drill bit that is going to get you a hole that's big enough to fit that into. And then you're ready to go. So I hope that you found that useful. I just thought it was really important to emphasise that although the actual act of using a drill is quite easy, you do need to do a little bit of homework and understand what wall system you are drilling into. So if you like this video, as ever, give it a like, do subscribe and come back soon. And if you have any of your own tips to share, please pop them in the comments down below. But that's it for today. Bye.